Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David. If you're new here, hi, welcome. And if you have been watching my channel for a while now, welcome back. So the book that I will be reviewing today is Revival by Stephen King. This was requested to me to actually review by Lady Jane Books. If you didn't know, Lady Jane is a fellow booktuber. She talks about mostly horror on her channel, but she does talk about other stuff as well. She is awesome. All the videos are extremely enjoyable and entertaining to watch, and all the videos are really funny, and she always puts a smile on my face no matter how down and depressed I am feeling. And yeah, she wanted me to talk about Revival, as she probably felt that not a lot of people on BookTube was actually talking about this book, and maybe she wanted to get my opinion on it. So in this video I will be obviously discussing Revival by Stephen King. So some facts about the book. The book itself was published on the 11th of November 2014, so it's about 6 years old. And online, this genre of for this book, the genre is classified as horror. I personally wouldn't put it into that category. I would say that this is more of a supernatural book than anything else. And of course, the author of this novel is Stephen King. For those of you that have no idea who I'm talking about, Stephen King is an American author, and he was born on the 21st of September 1947. He was also in a rock band called the Rock Bottom Remainders, and I thought that was kind of a fun fact because the main character of this novel is a rock star, so I thought that was a kind of a fun thing to actually find out. So before I get into telling you guys what this story is all about, I just want to say my usual things here. Spoiler-free video, guys. Not going to spoil anything about this story in case maybe you want to read it. And by the way, you should, because this book is freaking awesome. And also, this is going to be my own personal thoughts and feelings regarding this novel. So the story opens up by introducing us to our main character called Jamie Morton, who, when we first see him, he is a small boy, but as the story progresses, he ends up being a full-grown man of about 60 years of age. This is kind of like a memoir where Jamie is telling us aspects or events from his life, kind of like a narrator. So, but when we first see him in the book, he's a small boy, and he's living with his mum, dad, brother and sister in a small American town. Not sure whether it's Castle Rock, but Castle Rock is mentioned within this book. And one day, Jamie comes across this strange man called Charles Jacobs, who we find out he is the new pastor or vicar for this town. And instantly, Jamie and Charles become friends, and Charles is extremely nice, and he even tells Jamie about an interest and a hobby that he has to an extreme level. It's more of a obsession for Charles, where he has this interest towards electricity, and he takes Jamie back to his workshop, and he shows him all these strange toys and gadgets that he's built and created, and it's kind of like a hobby at this point for Charles. And one day we discover that Jamie's brother Con has been tragically injured in a skiing accident, where a ski pole has knocked on his throat, and it is disabled his ability to speak. He cannot talk. So the doctors have said, don't worry, his speech will come back in time. But as months have gone on, Con cannot speak. And so Charles tells Jamie, bring Con, your brother, to my workshop, and I will maybe be able to help him out and cure him or whatever. So he straps Con into a device, and he electrocutes him. It's not really like an electric chair. He probably just gives him a little buzz every now and then, and but it works. Shortly after this, Con has the ability to speak again, and he says, "Oh, I don't have to thank Charles. The doctor said that this would happen in time," and he soon forgets it. but Jamie never forgets it throughout the whole book. We find out that Charles is, as I said, he's the new vicar of this town, and he has a family. He has a wife and a son. And one day, something tragic happens to family members and someone important in Charles's life, and it results in them dying. This, as you can imagine, leaves Charles devastated. He's a broken man, and he is questioning his faith. At this point, his faith is clearly broken as well. Shortly after that, Jamie and his family and numerous members of this town go into church where Charles is still the vicar, and he's giving a speech or a sermon or whatever it is it's called. And he's basically telling everyone that God and Jesus are a bunch of a-holes, and the whole religion is BS, and life sucks and all that. This is classified in the book as being a terrible sermon. That's what this speech or this event is called. And after this, Charles is fired from the church, and he packs up all of his stuff into a car and drives off. And this leaves Jamie devastated, as he is losing his only friend within this story, and probably one of his closest friends. He tries to obviously he can't stop Charles from going because he's a small boy. I mean, he can't really do anything. But they say like a tearful farewell, saying, "Oh, don't forget me, and I won't forget about you," that type of stuff. And so after this, Jamie comes across a guitar in Con's room, where we discover that Con has a fascination or an interest in playing the guitar. And Jamie says, "Oh, can I have a go?" And Jamie instantly picks up how to play it really quickly, and he becomes interested in playing rock music. And as the story goes on, he joins numerous rock bands from his school and his community, but he is addicted to drugs and alcohol throughout this book, or a small section of this book. And that was a kind of a nice touch for Stephen King to actually put in, because he had a addiction towards alcohol and drugs. Pretty sure it was cocaine in his early career, so that was kind of a nice touch for him to take all of his negative and thoughts and experiences with these substances and put it in the character of Jamie. So this is as a result of this addiction, it is responsible for loads of breakups between him and different bands. They don't want anything to do with Jamie with this addiction, and they actually replace him and move on, and he moves on as well. He eventually does get over it. I'm not sure if that's a spoiler or not, but I'm saying it anyway. And we find out that he has a girlfriend that is half his age. She is a black girl as well, and she's a very nice person, although she's not really in the story much. And then as it goes on, Jamie comes across this carnival where he sees this person, there's a man on the stage, and he discovers and he finds out that it is Charles Jacobs, his old pastor or his old vicar. And he is up to his old tricks again. He is like oohing and ahhing the audience with all these magnificent tricks and stunts, and to actually get money. And they meet up afterwards and have a little chit chat, and then shortly after that they go their separate ways. And then we find out a little bit about Jamie and his music career and all the friends that he makes. And one of these friends is called Hugh. And one day Jamie takes Hugh to this tent, which is called the Revival Tent. And they know that they've actually found out that Charles Jacobs is a faith healer, and he's been going from county to county or country to country in America or county, and performing all these faith healing stunts. And so they go into this tent, and they see all these people that worship Charles, and they believe very strongly in what he's doing and in God. Even though Charles doesn't believe in God anymore, he questions Jesus and God repeatedly in this book. And he has these metal bands or strips around his wrists or fingers or hands or whatever, and he uses them to pick out certain members, specific members from his audience, very specific members. And he uses these rings to touch people on their bodies, and this lets electricity flow through their bodies, and they instantly become healed. No matter what illness they have, they instantly become healed after this event happens. And Jamie is sitting there, and he questions about if Charles is a con man now, if he's doing this like trying to take people's money, because people do give a lot of money at these they give him a lot of money in his revival tent, so he wants to know if that's the reason why he's doing this, or if it's some sort of trick, because everyone that Charles heals in these tents miraculously or very mysteriously either dies or goes insane, or sometimes both. And he wants to know the reason. And Hugh is very panicky at this point. He runs out of the tent, and he isn't the same. And at the end, we find out what happened with him in this tent. I won't say what happened, but my God, your mind will be blown. So near the end, Charles is living in a mansion or his big house, and he writes to Jamie, and he tells him, look, come to visit me. He's actually fallen off the radar at this point. He's no longer doing these revival tents, and he says, I've got someone that's from your past that is extremely ill, and come to my house and I'll show you what I can do, and I can cure them. And reluctantly he goes there, and this person ends up being cured, and he says, right, I'm sold on what you're doing here. I am at your beck and call. And Charles recruits Jamie as being his assistant, and he says to him, look, we are destined to be together. Well, not in that way, but our relationship with each other is destiny. We are destined to have this relationship with each other and being friends, and being able to actually meet. Because I mean, Charles sees the event where he met Jamie to be destiny. And that's what he believes, if that makes sense. And he tells Jamie that he's actually got a final experiment, or something that he needs to do. So, and this is like his last thing that he says that he wants to actually do. And I don't really want to say what happens, but my God, your mind will be freaking blown. I was reading this book, and I was trying to figure out where it was going, and at the end, what I was reading, I was thinking, oh my God, this is insane. It was such a weird and strange ending, especially for a Stephen King book. I mean, the ending's kind of been compared to Lovecraft's work, but I've never read a Lovecraft novel before. Again, comment down below, let me know what one I should read. And the ending will open your, I wouldn't say open your mind, but it will certainly blow your mind out of your skull. And trust me, you won't look at ants the same way again after you've read this book. So now I come to my section of this video where I tell you guys what I liked and what I disliked. First, the likes. Obviously, I liked how the book was written. Stephen King's my favourite author. And I like the characters of Jamie and Charles. They are both extremely interesting. Charles isn't really the villain. He's more, I wouldn't say misunderstood, but he's kind of a broken man that uses his interest in his hobby to try to find out what's happening, or what's happened after. What's actually happened to his people, to his family members that he's lost, and he wants to try to make sense of the universe as a whole. That's as brief as I can possibly get it, guys. But they are extremely interesting to read. I liked listening to different events in Jamie's life. This book didn't drag at all. It was a pleasure to read. I would highly recommend that you read this book, guys. And as I said, the ending is really good. I won't say what happens at the end, so don't worry about that. But the ending is so good. It really was. It's actually one of them endings which makes you think. I know that there's a thing going around that Stephen King doesn't know how to end his books, but my God, he hit a home run with this ending. He actually really did, guys. So what did I dislike about the novel? Not a lot. There wasn't a lot that I didn't like about this book, if anything. The only thing, and I had to think about this, the only thing that I could think about that I didn't like about this book, and it's not really a dislike, it's more of a criticism. I would have liked more of a conclusion to Jacob's character arc and how he was left in the book. I would have liked it to be more of a well-rounded conclusion for what Jacob's mission was and how he had some sort of result and a conclusion to his ending of his story. I can't really say more about it than I already have because I don't want to go into spoilers, but the book was excellent, guys. It really was. So when it comes to connections to Stephen King's multiverse from this book and what connections it had, I only found 2 connections to it. Obviously, Castle Rock is mentioned in this novel, as well as the town of Jerusalem's Lot, which, if you didn't know, is the town of that's actually in the novel of Salem's Lot, which is Stephen King's second book. And because a character from Salem's Lot is mentioned in The Dark Tower, and they are kind of a main character in some of the books, technically this novel is connected towards The Dark Tower. So, closing thoughts for Revival by Stephen King. Listen, guys, if you have read all of his classic stories like It, The Stand, Pet Sematary, Christine, The Shining, and you want to read something a bit more, I would say up to date, but something that Stephen King has written recently, that's actually up to that level of them stories and his old books or his earlier books, then read this book, guys. It is extremely good, and it really is. The characters are great, the story is great, it doesn't drag at all, the ending will blow your mind and amaze you, and you'll think, oh my God, this is such a strange and weird ending. But it was so fun. It was so fun to read. You can just sit down in your favourite chair or sit on your bed or sit in the park and have some tea or coffee or whatever and just relax and just read this book. It's not horror, so if you're wondering, if you're concerned whether this is going to be scary or not, it's not scary at all. Apart from the ending, which is a bit weird, but the story as a whole is more of Jamie telling us about his life as a memoir, and kind of like what the Body did and the Stand By Me films done. The Stand By Me movie did. So it's more or less like that, but certainly this isn't horror. And I would recommend this book to people that want to read Stephen King, but don't really want to be scared by killer clowns from another dimension, possessed cars, or haunted hotels. So yeah, I would recommend this book to anyone, guys. It really is such a great read, and I'm so happy that I have read this book. Thank you so much, Lady Jane, for bringing this to my attention. If it wasn't for you, then I would have got around to this book in a couple of years' time. I wouldn't have had the experience with it as I've actually recently done. I would have actually had to wait numerous years to read this book. So once again, thank you so much, Lady Jane, for this request video. So what do I rate Revival by Stephen King? I am going to currently give it 4 stars out of 5. So that's it, guys. That is my review on Revival by Stephen King. Let me know if you have read this. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a massive like. Thumbs up down below, guys. And comment as well. Let me know if you've read this book, if you've enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, if I've maybe inspired you to read it, or maybe this is the first book that you want to read by Stephen King. Let me know down below. And if you've enjoyed this video as a whole, please consider subscribing. It always helps the channel grow. Thank you so much if you have recently subscribed to my channel. It means the world to me. It really does, guys. It makes me so happy when people subscribe to my videos. It makes me so pleased. And I upload videos every Monday and Friday. If you do subscribe, please click on the little bell notification, just so you know whenever I upload videos. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, guys. And lastly, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading, and I will see you in my next video. Guide to bits. So this is the first time that I've ever read this book before, and yeah. So what the hell? So the story introducing us. So now I come to my likes and dislikes section of this video. First, the likes. Obviously, I like how the book is read. I mean, I am going to give Revival by Stephen King currently 4 stars out of 5. And